x and y in the following. So we are given a triangle ADBEC. So this triangle ACB is the big triangle, and the small triangle is AED, and they're giving us that AE is equals to EC and AD is equals to DB, which means that E is the midpoint of AC and D is the midpoint of AD. And then you have to know that if they're given us that AE is equals to EC, or E is the midpoint of AC, which means that the middle side, this side ED and CB will be parallel to one another, which means that this CB will be equals to 2 times ED, and then my CB will give me 14, and then X will be equals to 14. This is very easy. ABC is the big triangle and DEC is the small triangle. So if they've given us that AD is equals to DC, and also that BE is equals to EC, which means that E will be the midpoint of CB and D will be the midpoint of AC, which means that DE will be parallel to AB. In case you have to know that DE is equals to half of AB, as you can see, DE is equals to half of AB. DE is equals to half of AB times the value. So the value of DE, the value of X is 3,5. The value of X is equals to 3,5. This one is a little bit tricky. As you can see, my big triangle is ACB, and the midpoint is E. The midpoint of E is the midpoint of C and B, and D is the midpoint of A and B. Okay, so my units from A to B is 6, and my units from C to B is 8. So I am given a big triangle, which in case we have this triangle from here to here to here is a right angle triangle. You can see that my big triangle is from here to here to here. So which means that in this big triangle, we are given the value of 6 from here and the value of 8 from here. But you have to know that if we have a midpoint between the sides, which means that ED is parallel to C and E. But the problem is, in order for me to find this X, how am I going to find it when I don't have the value from C to E? I don't have the value from here to here, which in case I'll be like, oh, ED is equals to half of AC. The thing about this triangle, you have to think harder in a way that you are going to find this value of X. The best way, if you are given a right angle triangle, you gotta use a Pythagoras rule, which is x squared plus y squared equals to r squared, Pythagoras rule. And also, my x is 8 squared plus my y is 6 squared, and we are looking for this r squared. So we just put our everything here in order for us to find this r. The perfect answer is 10, which means that the size of this CA or AC is equals to 10 units. Okay, because it's equals to 10, we are going to put a 10 here. I have put it my 10 here. So we want this x. How are we going to find this x? For you to find this x, you are gonna say that this AC, or you're gonna say that this ED is equals to half of AC, which indicates that my AC is 10, which means that my ED will be half of 10 is 5. Half of 10 is 5. And then therefore x is equals to 5. And you are done with everything.